What's up guys, Rogue9 here, and in this video I want to give you a full breakdown of all of the map updates and changes that will be going live with the Year 4 Season 2 patch. If you've been playing the test server for the last 3 weeks, you may have noticed many of these changes for yourself already, but if you haven't, this video will give you a running start when jumping onto the reworked Kafe map for the first time. Let's go! But before we get to that, first of all, I would like to highlight that there have been a whole bunch of subtle little changes across a number of maps. For instance, on Villas, this cupboard in the basement has been removed. Or on Chalet, the paint cans in the blue hallway have been turned into buckets. On Clubhouse, a couple of railings have been modified to remove unfair pixel peaks from the catwalk above the garage, and in the stock room looking into the blue tunnel. This episode is brought to you by FanFit Gaming, the officially licensed provider of Rainbow Six Siege fan merchandise. In their 6 collection, they offer a range of extra-large metal and enamel Rainbow Six operator pins, sized 4cm by 4cm or around 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. And even cooler than the pins is the Rainbow Six themed neon light. Click on the link in the description below to check out these items and more. Using the referral link helps out the channel, and if you use the code ROGUE9 at checkout, you will receive a 10% discount on your purchases. So if you're in the market for some cool pins or an even cooler light, go check out FanFit Gaming. Then of course there are the announced changes to Bank and Border, where some of the most annoying ambient sounds in the game are finally getting toned down. The sprinkler systems in Bank have been turned off and are now much less of a distraction in terms of both audio and visual noise. This is especially noticeable in the server room, where the fine mist has also been removed, allowing us to have more balanced engagements around the dirt tunnel. In addition to the sprinklers, the bank's alarm systems have also been made much quieter, and they will now only sound intermittently rather than continuously. Thumbs up for that. And last, but by no means least, the noise from the helicopters and the AC units outside has also been dialed down, meaning that the Rainbow Six operators can now damage their hearing the old-fashioned way with gunfire and explosions, rather than being deafened by these monstrosities. On Border, the circling helicopter has also been placed a little further away, resulting in less noise pollution. The overeager border guy on his speaker system is still shouting at us about not boarding the helicopter, but at least he has an off switch. Now let's talk a little bit about lighting. While updating Kafe, the devs also took the time to increase player comfort on the map by making it much brighter overall and removing a lot of the visual clutter such as paper and debris that used to be strewn everywhere. I think I can safely say that the improvement in lighting will be a welcome change to most players, and Kafe is not the only map that will see improvements in this area. Since its introduction, Villa has been accepted as a pretty competitive and well-balanced map overall, and if there is any criticism at all, it usually focuses on the size of the map and the lighting. So good news everyone, even though there are no significant structural changes to Villa, the devs have given the entire map a once-over to make it much brighter than it used to be. Hooray! Now over to the structural changes on Kafe. First off, we get a new site option for defenders, and the other sites are modified where applicable. The old bar and cocktail lounge site has been renamed to just Cocktail Lounge, but all in all, the objectives are still in the same places as before, and the same goes for the fireplace hall and mining room objective. But then we get a new option on the second floor, and that is the reading room fireplace hall. This is quite an interesting concept that we've never seen before. One room is basically shared by two different objective location choices. It will be interesting to see how this affects gameplay. And finally, the pretty poor kitchen prep and bakery objective has been swapped out for a kitchen service and kitchen cooking objective that takes advantage of the completely remodeled ground floor. This site definitely looks far more viable now for defenders, and I cannot wait to see what the pro players will be able to do with it in the upcoming season. In terms of the structural changes of the map, these are quite significant, so let's check them out floor by floor, starting on the roof. As you can see, there are only two real changes here. First of all, the skylight has been modified to limit the number of angles attackers can hold from the roof, and what a great change that is. The old hatch was just too powerful and allowed a single attacker to lock down most of the bar area with barely any risk at all. The second change here is a new hatch that will allow a drop down onto the new second floor balcony on the west side. Here you can see this balcony as well as the one on the other side, and adding in these new balconies as well as removing the dead space on the eastern wall gives us a significant increase in floor space on this map. Adding in new dividing walls also breaks up the sightlines more and offers more tactical opportunities, such as using a mirror window to cover the bar. If you're playing on the western platform, you are in a great position to cover the stairs that lead up from the first to the second floor, but keep an eye on the new window over on the eastern wall. The southwestern part of this floor comes with mostly cosmetic changes, but in the center you will notice that the hatch behind the bar has been removed. On the eastern side of the bar, one of the windows has been blocked up, and the railing of the white stairs has been changed to be solid so that there is less opportunity for holding nasty angles and less frustration while fighting through metal rails. Heading down to the second floor, the hatch in the fireplace room has been moved to the south, and once again one of the windows has been blocked up. The fixtures in the washroom have been moved around a little, but the most impactful changes in this area are around the reading room. Cover within the room has been moved around a bit, and many of the walls have been made solid. You will no longer need to reinforce next to the doors on either side, and the section of wall that used to be blocked by a couch is now also made of brick. All of the walls around the mining and train rooms are exactly as before, but as you can see, large portions of the floor have now been made breachable, or at least semi-breachable, adding a lot of potential for vertical play into the kitchen below. The northern side of the second floor sees the right-hand window blocked off, and most importantly, the staircase down to the first floor has been moved. Once we head down the white stairs in the southeast, first off we have the obligatory change to the breachable loading bay door. In the OG launch maps of Rainbow Six Siege, we quite frequently find these breachable outer walls that have no studs in them and can be opened up with any gun in the game or even by hand if necessary. Whenever a map gets reworked, the devs add studs to force players to use explosives or shotguns to get through. Along the corridor, you can see that the breachable wall into the freezer has been moved since the size of the freezer itself is now much smaller. The corridor no longer goes around the corner, and if you want to get to an entrance into the kitchen, you have to make your way through the entrance area of the building first. This part of the map has the most significant changes of all, with a brand new VIP room in the east leading into a semi-sectioned off seating area in the north. The new stairs are walled off, and so is the reception area, and this creates much tighter spaces that will allow defenders to anchor down here far more safely. As we have seen on other parts of the map, the appalling empty areas have been removed to push the bar back somewhat and to create a brand new coat room next to the reception. The bakery has also been made far more viable for defenders by subdividing the room and by removing one of the north-facing windows and all of the western ones. Attackers will no longer be able to hold all kinds of ridiculous angles and will have to take more risks to flush out defenders that choose to play here. And last but definitely not least, the kitchen. The prep room has been made a good chunk smaller, and the large window that used to lead out to the south here is also blocked off. The extra space for the kitchen itself has been used to create two separate sections to the kitchen, each with its own cool storage. These freezers, as well as the cooking areas themselves, offer great cover for anchors, but keep in mind that the newly breachable floors in the train and mining rooms above are perfect for putting vertical pressure on the kitchen defense. If you're going to anchor here, you really want a reliable roamer or two above to make sure that the attackers can't put too much pressure on you from there. Another little feature that the attackers can use to put pressure on the anchors are the gaps in the wooden paneling at the top of the wall behind the bar to the north. Expect flash, smoke, or hand grenades to come sailing through there to support the final push of the attackers. And there you have it, a detailed top-down comparison of the new and old versions of Kafe. What are your thoughts on the map changes? Are there any of them that you particularly like, or any that you have concerns about? Let's chat in the comments section below. And with that, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next episode.